Yo, let me, yo, I don't know. Okay, let's start here. So I had to change the name of the YouTube channel. Bummer. Somebody already had behind the curtain, no S. And I looked at the page and I was like, it's no point in competing with this. And it's not necessarily a competition thing. It's more over I respect what they doing thing. You know, as somebody that likes theater, somebody that likes movies, plays, and stuff like that, I saw it and I was like, okay, I gotta respect this. They beat me to the name. So I'm toying out some different names, toying out, excuse me, some different names to see what'll work, what'll stick, and I'm just kind of trying some different things out. Also, speaking of trying things out, I told y'all on my little first take, I was about to start trying out some colors, as you can see. Color palettes behind me, trying to figure out what worked good for the wall, for the ceiling. So just trying to make a little progress, man. Trying to make a little progress. Anyway, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb before we start. I'm on a time crunch, and I want to be locked in for this. So what are we doing today? Throw that over there. Let's talk about what we're doing today. I want to post I don't need these headphones right now. I want to post a TikTok video. And I want to do the research that goes into posting said TikTok video. So what I want to do today on this, I guess, episode or whatever this is, right? I want to go through the research of me getting the stuff to put together said episode. So that's what we're going to do a lot of today. What is the episode about? Filter fatigue. I'll say that again. Filter fatigue. I had never heard of filter fatigue, and I cannot for the life of me tell you where I heard that at. I probably heard it like a month ago, and it just really stuck with me. It really caught my attention. So then I start thinking like, okay. Filter fatigue. And I've been I've been going down this social media rabbit hole, if you will, of kind of, is it good for the youth? Is it bad for adults? What is it doing on our mental health? The long-term trajectory of it, us always being overly stimulated as a byproduct of social media, comparison analysis, right? So I've been kind of going deep down that bag. But then I come across in the newspaper. I read the newspaper every weekend. It does not fail. Specifically the local newspaper, like I usually read the Dallas Journal, Dallas Morning News, excuse me. If I'm feeling uncertain about just like the times and stuff like that, I'll read the Wall Street Journal and stuff like that, and maybe the Economist. But neither here nor there. Back to what we was talking about, filter fatigue. So I want to do a piece on filter fatigue. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I figure I want to take 30 to 40 minutes today, right now, to break down my outline, my talking points, to really put a piece together about filter fatigue. So if you are open and if you want, dive in with me and let's do some research on filter fatigue. We'll just go into it like that because I really don't know how to go into this, but that's what we're about to do. Look up stuff on filter fatigue. Now, I do want to hear my song before I get started. A snippet of it. Because I don't know the YouTube rules. So I don't know if this is going to get flagged or not. I'm learning it. But the way I figure it is, why not? Why not give it a shot? Baby, well, baby, you pick a way you call.
5:30, the car missing. No text backs or call misses. I feel like we all victims. Docs is getting long. Drunk.
I should probably stop this. In case it ends up being a good episode, I don't want to have to go through and cut all of that out. I got to figure out what worked for music. I need to ask somebody that. Okay, so I guess first things first. How long do we want this video to be? Let's see, what do long form videos on TikTok usually do? It's so crazy, man, because I feel like if TikTok, I like TikTok a whole lot better than the other platforms. And it's just crazy because they talking about how they might get shut down or banned and stuff like that. And I kind of get the information thing of we don't want our information in the hand, but it's like it's already happening. And it just seems to me is, I don't know. I'll say that conversation for a different day. I don't know enough. So answer you'll hear me say quite frequently in my space, in my world. Anyway, this is no good. I don't care about this. How long? Too long for a. Okay. All right. So 15 seconds up to 10 minutes. It's a long time. Let's go with like, I don't know. Let's shoot for like 5 minutes. Okay, here we go. All right. So, I guess first things first, we need to, what is exactly filter fatigue, right? So I guess to start, why am I passionate? Oh, I didn't set an alarm. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 25 minutes. All right, first things first. What is filter fatigue and why am I even passionate about it? Let's come back here for a second. I think I'm passionate about filter fatigue only because and I don't want to say passionate. I'm just curious. I'm curious to know if filters are really affecting us that much, or if it's just somebody out there using yet again another negative ploy to get people riled up. So that's one thing I want to make this piece of content about. The second thing is, like, I do think there is a high rise in filter usage right now. Like, you can't go to any platform without it being heavily filtered. Now, I already kind of have some idea of some of the pros and cons. Some of the pros would be increased, I would imagine, would be increased, what am I looking for? Like self-esteem almost. Might be manufactured, but still increased self-esteem. I can also see that being a con because you are more susceptible to hide behind said filters. I can see that being an issue for people. What else can I see? Let's see. What else I got on my notes here? All right. So for my introduction of this TikTok that I'm trying to make, or we won't even just call it TikTok because it's not going to be exclusive to TikTok. I'll put it on like all my little platforms once I get it going. So I guess the first thing is we need to define what social media filters are. So let's start there. I probably should. As a matter of fact, I think I looked at this before. Let me see what this is. I wish I could give her credit. Posted an episode of Secret Messages with Ashley Graham. And this looks like it was back in 2019. So this is kind of old. But anyway, this is the premise of why I wanted to talk about filter fatigue. This is what I got. I want this new chapter of my life to be about being authentic to who I am rather than trying to meet someone else's standards. I'm not necessarily trying to do that. I don't use a ton of filters, but and in comparison, right? I don't use a ton of filters, but I also don't post a lot either. So it's tomato, I guess, if you will. But for people who do post a lot, that do use heavily filtered. Hold on. What's up, bro?
Hey, you at work?
Nah, record a YouTube video. What's up?
Nah, I'll hit you back up if you busy.
Just a little bit. What, you good? That's my nephew. And I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't know if you can see that. But my phone is on Do Not Disturb, yeah. But I guess he called me. No, maybe I think I may have had him on that thing. Anyway, I'm a family first kind of guy. Let's get back to it. This is why, in particular, oh, let me go back here. This is why I wanted to do this episode. Because I feel like, so here's the thing. Women get a bad rap for using a lot of filters. Women do. They're like, oh, this all filtered up, it's all Photoshop. It wasn't until I realized that some of you men be out here filtering it up just as hard. I seen a dude on TikTok busting it down with the like the skin clear face or whatever, like filter. And I ain't tripping. Get your money however you want to get it. But like, y'all can't be out here just going hard on the ladies and y'all using the filters too now. And I mean, everybody uses a little filter. Everybody uses a little photo editor, a little retouch. But exactly what Demi Lovato is saying right here is exactly why I wanted to do this piece on filter fatigue. So let's finish this out before we do a little research.
Standards. Thank you, Demi. You wouldn't know it by scrolling through your feed, but there are a lot of people with stretch marks and cellulite, me included. Around 80% of people have stretch marks, and cellulite is even more common among women.
Women are constantly warring with themselves in their minds. It's like, we know this is unrealistic. We know these images are photoshopped. We know it's not real, but it's really hard to tell your mind that it's not real when you see it.
But if most of us will get these things at some point, why are we working so hard to hide them?
I don't know about you. But they got me. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued because what this last lady was just saying though is the fact that people like know filters are unrealistic and they know the beauty standard that is helping them achieve is not practical, but yet still push really, really hard for it is very telling in terms of where we're headed as a society. And I don't think like don't let me sit here and sound like this is Armageddon based off of damn filters. I don't think filters are that deep, at least not right now. But I do think the compounding effect of filters can be some crazy stuff. Like you start talking about over 10 years, 15 years, if we never stop, I think that could be an interesting point of conflict rather. I would be so curious to know, anybody who watches this part of the video, right? I would be so curious to know, how do you feel about that? Like this right here in itself. Like, should this matter? This is kind of crazy though. Hold on, let me go back to this. This is kind of crazy though. That people with Photoshop ghosts in, and that can make a lot of sense for paranormal stuff that people be talking about. But that's a different topic. Anyway, let's finish this.
Photo editing now is a different kind of creepy. Before Photoshop, artists could take a blade.
So this is what I'm talking about. Like, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like this is too much? Do you feel like it's within bounds? Do you feel like if somebody wants to do it, they should be able to do it? Do you think, I'm just curious, like, what do you think about this? Because I ain't never seen nobody do it with the blade tool and cut it out like that. But as a Photoshop guy myself, I have definitely used different type of liquify tools to push in these areas on different people I've taken photos of, don't get me wrong. There are times where I photoshopped a woman or I photoshopped even a guy, and he's like, man, I look a little thin in this. You think you could beef me up a little bit? You think you could make my muscles look a little bigger? And I'll do it. I'll oblige. You paying me. Yeah, I'll do it. And I keep that professional and within confines of the business, but it is what it is, right? But I guess at the same time, I can see why people would do it, because I also understand vanity, because I've done shows before, right? I've been on camera and sometimes it just doesn't come out how you expect it, and you just are like, oh, I want to change that. Oh, I wish this looked better. Oh, I wish I had this shirt tailored, whatever. But for this, it seems like a little much.
literally trimmed the waist on photographed women. Airbrushing and photo manipulation took on a life of its own from there. And when photo manipulation became the norm in magazines, it was only a matter of time before it struck social media. I used to hop online for inspiration. I loved seeing unique people every time I looked at my phone. But now it seems like everyone is aspiring to the same unrealistic standards. It's almost taken the fun out of social media.
With Instagram.
This is so telling that it was like 2020, like right on the cusp of the pandemic. If this is true, if this is the true date of this piece and it says December 29th, 2019, this is so telling, because like we're just now about to go into the pandemic that is going to drastically speed up all this stuff they're talking about. And they're about to be talking about Instagram, I would imagine, like it is the holy grail, which is not the case anymore, right?
In particular, the entire platform is image-based. So if a person is constantly bombarded with unrealistic images and beauty standards, it can greatly affect their perception of themselves. Constantly comparing yourself negatively to those unrealistic images can cause a lot of issues with body image, self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. You can control
all things I would argue that this generation, and when I say generation, I'm not even talking millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y, whoever. I'm talking about this era of life that we as a race are, I say race, population, people in general, right? I don't think this is subject to just black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I think this is a population thing. I think there are little kids in India that are super obsessed with the way they look and flaunting their rich lifestyles, in Dubai, in Denver, Colorado, that want to sport their stuff, in London, in the UK, et cetera, Argentina, they want to pop it off and show them, hey, this how I'm giving it up at 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old. I'm a millionaire. I'm sitting on $1 million yacht, yada, yada, yada. But the fact of the matter is, like, the people on the other end of that stuff, they don't feel fulfilled by it. They like it because at a time it was kind of inspiring. But is that the case still? Probably not. I think people are wanting more rawness, more authenticity, which is why I'm broadcasting with this ugly background. But it's real. It's me. It's authentic. It's part of the journey. It's part of my story or whatever. So I agree. I agree with all
what you see in your feed when you sign into social media, and that can greatly influence your experience and overall well-being.
A little reality check won't kill us. It'll make us feel a lot better. Many prominent stars have spoken out against doctoring images, especially if they were retouched without their permission. I hope to see more of this. I'm on board with more honesty on social media. Don't be afraid to go unfiltered. I'm here for your truth, your stretch marks, your cellulite and all. Believe me, I've got a ton. And if you want to see, you can go to my social media.
Secret messages. Let me see if I can like that. 8 million views. Let me comment. Is this where I comment over here? What the hell is that? Oh. That damn internet, boy. If I'm telling you, it get you sucked in, don't I? Can't even comment on this. Oh well. Sorry. Oh, right here. Clearly, I don't use Facebook. Post. Okay. All right. So back to what we were saying. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my timeline here, so we can keep this thing going. Okay. All right. So what are social media filters? I think we know the answer to this, but I'm just curious to see what this is going to spit out realistically. Let's go with Wikipedia, because that's the one we trust, right? You remember like when people were talking bad about Wikipedia, and I think they still do. I mean, I really never knew like Was Wikipedia good? Was it not good? Trustworthy, not trustworthy? I get what people saying about like it could be like manipulated and stuff, but I don't know. So anyway, social media filters. Filters are appearance altering digital image effects often used on social media. They initially simulated the effects of camera filters, and they have since developed with facial recognition technology and computer generated augmented reality. I think that's AR, maybe. Social media filters, especially beauty filters, are often used to alter the appearance of selfies taken on smartphones and similar devices. We need to look up what beauty filters are. A beauty filter is applied to still photographs or videos in real time. So we got a beauty filter. Okay. So I feel like that's something we need to break down. Is there a difference in beauty filters? Let me put this over here. That's something I'm gonna put up. Is there a difference in beauty filters and social media filters? Okay. Then it says give a brief overview of the impact of filters on social media. Okay, I can do that. The manipulation of photos to enhance attractiveness has long been possible using software such as Adobe Photoshop, and before that, analog techniques such as airbrushing. However, such tools required considerable technical and artistic skill, so their use was mostly limited to professional contexts such as magazines and advertisements. We know that is not the case anymore. So many people. There's a girl on TikTok let me see if I can find her. I don't know if I should be going on TikTok because I just don't know if I should be going on TikTok to show y'all like what my TikTok really looks like. I don't know. Oh, I ain't even signed in. I don't want to log in. I'm not gonna log in. Anyway, there's a girl on TikTok that be like, people pay me to Photoshop this, and people pay me to Photoshop this person out, and people pay me to Photoshop that person out. So it's interesting to see like what this is saying about beauty filters. But no, that's it's fair. Pretty interesting. All right, so back to social media filters. The history. In 2010, Apple introduced the iPhone 4. That was at 2010? I guess the first iPhone. Yeah, the first iPhone was around like 07. Seems like it was further than that. The first iPhone model with the front camera. Now, that's important. I feel like that is important. That is important information. For the context of this video, that I believe would add context. Because I've seen somewhere, I've done a little research, very, very minimal research on this, but I have seen somewhere that like one of the first social media filters has been attributed to Snapchat, which is something I think we would all largely agree on. Here we go. In September 2011, Instagram 2.0 update for the application introduced live filters. This is interesting, because somebody said the Snapchat joint was in like 2015. Just to preview the effects of a filter while shooting with the application's camera. No filter, a hashtag to label to describe. Became popular around 2013. So I think it's safe to say that maybe Instagram probably dropped the first filter, which is so telling because Instagram is such a filter place nowadays. At least it feels that way to me. I could be wrong. Take that with a grain of salt. But that's how it feels to me. It feels like overly filtered and sometimes. But you do have the people who I feel like are using it the right way. Like just kind of just going about their day-to-day life in present tense. Because I get that Instagram once was all about, we share pictures. But now it's more like, hey, we have this story feature where we can talk about our favorite sports teams or post our favorite sports commentary or sports takes or model takes or messy takes for the shade room girlies out there. But it's very fair, I feel like, to say that Instagram probably dropped the first filter, but Snapchat, I would say, popularized it. And this is speaking to that. So I feel like that would do a good history for the definition. And also, I'm just going to copy all of this. Yeah, I'm going to copy all of this. Yeah, this is crazy, though. A study from Yahoo Labs and the Georgia Institute. So I think that's Georgia Tech, I believe. Damn. My time is ended that fast. All right, fuck it. We'll bust another 10. We'll do another 10, whatever. All right. This is interesting because it says found that filtered photos outperform unfiltered photos in terms of engagement on social media, with a 21% higher chance of being viewed and a 45% higher chance of generating a comment off of a filtered post. So no wonder why all y'all using filters. I get it. You want them comments to keep rolling in. Fair enough. I get it. That's the point of social media. I ain't tripping. It's almost, I almost feel like should I talk about social media first and then talk about social media filters? No, I feel like that'd just be like too vague, too broad. Like, stay on topic. We're talking about social media filters. Let's stick to social media. Let's stick to social media filters, not make this about social media. Dysmorphia, also called body dysmorphic disorder, is a mental health condition in which the person is obsessed with perceived flaws in their face or body. Social media comparison and filters on social media cause people to strive for unrealistic standards of beauty, contributing to increases in dysmorphia. This is an article. Okay, now we cooking, baby. We cooking. I hate they use this lady because she looks nice without the filter, but you know, I get it. No, I'm not subscribing. This is in 2023. Like, come on now. You know I'm not doing it. Well, maybe there are people that are doing it, but whatever. Do you use a filter every time you post? That's really the hook. But I can't, you know, they bodied that. I can't even cap. They bodied that. Because I mean, like, do you? Do you use a filter every time you post? $1 million question. Do you use a filter every time you post? This came from the Newport Institute. If you answered yes to that question, you're not alone. Who doesn't want whiter teeth, brighter skin, more symmetrical features? Social media filters let us have that and more, so we can keep up with all the other filter using selfie takers in our feeds. How could anything be wrong with that? I love the undertone here. What is a social media filter? Appearance altering filters on social media, also known as beauty filters. So I feel like beauty filters and social media filters are one and the same. There's no point in differentiating the two. So we're just going to talk through what they are. And I'll say something to the effect of, they're commonly called beauty filters in some spaces. They're called filters in other spaces, but they're the same thing. This right here has got me like, all right, we're going to do it. Know the facts. This just stood out to me. Hold on, let me see. Maybe I need to blow this up too at some point, but whatever. Know the facts. If you can't see this, 90% of young adult women in a City University of London study said that they've used filters because they felt pressured to look a certain way on social media. These are all things we know. But the reason I want to bring light to this as a journalist is, I guess where do we go from here? Like, do we bring back hashtag no filter? Do we? Maybe. Oh, that might be heat. I could post a picture of myself looking very bad, looking terrible, which is not hard to do, obviously, right? Like, y'all should, not hard to do at all. But maybe I could post a picture of myself and say hashtag no filter as the cover art for the article. Seems a little narcissistic to use myself, but whatever. That's another conversation. But I like that I like that a lot because they felt pressure. And the part I like the most is because they felt pressured to look a certain way on social media. New research on filters and mental health. A 2021 study explored the negative effects of filters on mental health. Participants included 175 young women of non-binary people, okay, ages 18 to 30, with a majority being 20 and 21. That's a bit tough because I'm curious as what this is doing to you old folks. I say you old folks because I'm old too, but I'm curious because listen, it's some older folks, male and women and non-binary, whatever, you know what I mean, that's going filter bonanza. I'm talking filter dummy mode. So like, I get just keeping this, to 20 or 21, but I'd be curious to see somebody bust this down from like 26 to 35. I would be very curious in that and very interested. I pay money for that for sure. The study also found answers to the questions: what's the filter everyone uses most? The 5 most common filters or edits were those used to even out skin tone, brighten skin. Brighten skin is so interesting, specifically for black people. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I photographed black people before, and I'm fair skinned, light skinned, whatever you want to call me, red. I've been called all of those things before, but I've specifically photographed people of a darker skin complexion, and they literally asked me, can you make my skin lighter? And I thought that was a weird question because I come from a very dark father. My dad is very dark skinned, and my mom is my complexion. That's where I get it from. And I'm not going to be naive. I've been told this my whole life. The privileges that have been afforded to me as a light-skinned black man, I don't have the same struggle. I get it. I'm not trying to demean anybody's struggle. I get that. But I just don't understand how lightening your skin, hopefully I don't remember what I'm talking about, but I just don't understand how lightening your skin does anything for you. Like, because people know, like, when they see you on social media, this is what I don't get. When they see you on social media, they know. Like, that would be equivalent to me saying, Chocolate Brothers is in, let me go all the way dark. Now, and I throw that picture out there on the gram. Y'all gonna be like, nah, bro, you are not that dark. I think it's conversely the same. I don't understand why people want to go lighter. Anyway, neither here nor there. Okay. All right. And non-binary people ages 18 to 30, minority being 20 to 21. One of the most striking findings was that 90% of the young women in the study reported using filters, or 90% of the young women in the study reported using filters or editing their photos. 90. For those of you who may be like myself and you're not that good at math, 90% out of 100 would be 9 out of 10 women if we were doing this on a scale of 10. That's a lot. I don't care how you cut the cake. That's a lot. And I got to go ahead and end this episode, and I'll get it up there, get it posted. But this is part 1 of my filter fatigue research. I'll drop back in with another one of these to kind of pick up where we left off, and I'll do some more research in the meantime. Hold on, let me do this. See, okay, hold on. Just real quick. I can't believe I'm showing y'all this. All right. Ooh, that camera hot. Okay. You can't really see it, but this one up here, it's a little bit darker. This one down here is like a little bit lighter, and then that one is a little bit even more lighter. I'm kind of feeling one of those darker joints, but at the same time, that light purple may look a little more fly. It's hard to call. I think I'm gonna throw another color up there just to kind of get another take on it. Can't believe I left these on the whole time. Waves all messed up. But yeah, sorry. As I was saying, listen, here's what we'll do. I'll get this episode up and we'll throw it out there, you know. Again, I completely understand none of these first episodes get views, so I'm really just having a good time doing this for me. I thought it was pretty cool. But I'm on a strict timeline today. I got some other stuff I need to do. I need to finish writing, but I wanted to start on my filter fatigue research. So I'll do 1 to 2 more of these, maybe just one more. I'll do a little research on my own, bring y'all in on the back end of the research, wrap it up, and then I'll put the content out. And then we'll be able to kind of tie it together. Like here's my filter fatigue piece of content. Here's the content of me putting it together. Blah, 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 blah. Sound good? I don't have any fancy music this time or anything like that. I didn't have a chance to put it together, but I might throw like some music underneath this to kind of make it feel good. But all right, I will catch y'all on the next episode.